Hi, Rob here. Welcome to the IELTS writing course. This lesson is about cohesion. So cohesion is how well your ideas connect and whether there's organisation within your paragraphs. So it depends on your first language. In many languages you have very similar rules for cohesion, so most of the European languages. Some of the East Asian languages, especially Chinese, seem to have very different rules of cohesion, and so when they try to write in English, there are some issues with cohesion. So understand cohesion in your language first, and then see how it works in English. Let's have a look. So it's interesting actually, if we look at a band 9, it says uses cohesion in such a way that it attracts no attention. So this means that when we're reading some native speaker writing, that it seems very, very smooth. Okay, it seems smooth. There is good cohesion. Everything's connected nicely. So that's the feeling we get when there is good cohesion. And the opposite is true when cohesion doesn't work. That it feels, what we say, clunky. It's not smooth. It's rough. So look, an 8, it says manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. For a 7, uses a range of cohesive devices appropriately, although there may be some under or overuse. So we will talk about this a lot in this lesson. Presents a clear central topic within each paragraph. Okay. 6, uses cohesive devices effectively, but cohesion within and or between sentences may be faulty or mechanical. So there you go. Clunky means mechanical, like a machine that's not running very smoothly. May not always use referencing clearly or appropriately. So referencing, the verb is to refer back to ideas before. So we refer back to ideas, and also we substitute ideas. We don't repeat ideas. So cohesion and being smooth is about not repeating. It uses paragraphing, but not always logically. 5, makes inadequate, inaccurate, or overuse of cohesive devices. So this is when someone uses the same cohesive device too much. For example, it might say so, too much. Maybe repetitive because of lack of referencing and substitution. So for example, Paul is from England. Paul works with me. Paul is a great teacher. Paul, too much. You need to not repeat. Paul is from England. He does that, so he substitutes Paul. Very, very important. And that's a simple example. We do that a lot in English, as I'm sure you do in your languages too. 4, uses some basic cohesive devices, but these may be inaccurate or repetitive, may not write in paragraphs, or their use may be confusing. So look at a 5 and a 4, may not write in paragraphs. So no paragraphs, automatically you're a 4 or a 5. If you write a 1-sentence paragraph, then you're a 5. A 1-sentence, you can't write a 1-sentence paragraph apart from in the conclusion, okay? Because a paragraph is more than 1 sentence. Here's some tips. Do briefly plan your essay. So watch the lessons about planning, brainstorming, and getting the 4 ideas. So this will help you to answer the question, these 4 ideas, but also help you in your coherence and cohesion. Stay focused, which means going back and making sure you're answering the question. And this will stop you adding irrelevant detail. So in other words, ideas that are not connected to the question. 4 paragraphs, as we said before: introduction, main 1, main 2, conclusion. Each one must have a central theme, and the main paragraphs need to have 2 ideas in each. And you will use cohesion to connect these ideas. these ideas, and you'll use cohesion to connect two paragraphs. So do use cohesive devices to connect ideas. Do use substitution and reference. Okay. So cohesive devices is quite a big group of words. It includes all conjunctions. So watch the grammar lesson to understand this more. But it includes coordinated conjunctions. So that's for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Fanboys. Again, watch the grammar videos. And subordinated conjunctions like when and that and because. In other words, the conjunctions that show whether it is an adverb clause, a noun clause, or a relative clause. Okay. Here's a list of cohesive devices. So all these words help to connect ideas, not sentences. Conjunctions connect sentences. Cohesive devices includes conjunctions, but also words that connect ideas. So they could be in two separate sentences, but this word is connecting them, or connecting them an idea from the whole text. So to get these, you can pause this and have a look. Pause the lesson and look. Or there's also a handout with a list of all of these cohesive devices. So they are, as you can see, there are different types. So listing, first, second, third, first, furthermore, finally, blah, blah, blah. These are especially useful in the task 1 process, academic task 1 process. You need them. And giving examples, generalizing. Generalizing is very important because in the essay we're not talking specifically, we're talking about very general ideas. You can use them to reinforce or for addition, results and consequence, highlighting. So it means giving more information about something, which is important for your task 2. Result is important for task 2 as well, if you remember back to those lessons where we talk about point, example, result. Reformulation, so this is important for paraphrasing, which we do in the writing, but we especially do in the speaking test. So in the speaking test, the listener is listening for a paraphrase. Similarity. So again, this is important for the task 1, isn't it? The task 1 writing. Again, more ideas here. Expressing an alternative. Deduction. We don't have to do too much deduction in IELTS. Contrast, we do a lot. Transitioning to a new point. So this is the point between the new paragraphs. Summarizing, which we do at the end of the essay. Supporting, which we do throughout. Concession is very similar to contrast. And stating the obvious is useful to give your opinion. So remember, we don't just say, I think that. We can use some of these type of, basically they are adverbs, to show our opinion. Let's have a look. So these types of cohesive devices we can use in 4 different ways. You can use them at the beginning of a sentence. So you need the comma after. So full stop, after all, blah, blah, comma, blah, 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 blah. So most writers, most IELTS students usually put them there. But if you do that, it's not very natural. It's a bit mechanical. So you will limit yourself to a band 6 in coherence and cohesion. So you can put them at the end of a sentence. Look, the outcomes of a university education can be questionable for some, though. So all of those, in theory, can be put at the end of the sentence. So we do this as a matter of style in speaking. So this is for speaking and writing. We can put them between the subject and the verb. I, however, believe that the outcomes are difficult to measure. And you can put them between the auxiliary verb and the participle individuals have, though, always gained from having a higher education. So most people are using number 1. If you do that, you are limiting yourself very much. I'm suggesting that you try and use 2 and 3 and 4 more. Really, 3 and 4 are the same, except in number 3 we have 1 verb, and in number 4 we basically have 2. So this is part of adverb placement. This is where we place adverbs. So these transitions, these cohesive devices are adverbs. So they can either go in the front position, the middle position, or the end position. I'm suggesting you do more of 2 and 3. You must, actually, if you want to 7 or more. Okay? And of course, notice the commas. So that's a grammar issue as well, isn't it? So reference. So this is where we're reaching back into the text. So we use pronouns, personal pronouns, as I mentioned to you before. Paul, blah, 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 he. He refers back to Paul. He, referring back into the text. Demonstrative pronouns are really, really important. This, that, these, and those. So in your writing, blah, 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 this means that, da, 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 or these ideas. It refers back to before. So this helps to connect the ideas in your writing really well. So learn to use those. Some of you use them naturally because it's the same in your language. Others of you do not. Be very careful, because Anger never talks to his father when he's upset. Who is upset, Angus or his father? So we have to be careful that we are referring back to the right thing. So here's some good use. As far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain. And as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. So they refers back to the laws of mathematics. Thank you, Albert Einstein. Substitution usually reaches back. So I bet you get married before I get married. So we're repeating, aren't we? We're repeating getting married. So we don't. I bet you get married before I do. So do substitutes get married. People overuse so. So I think so. So refers back to whatever you were talking about before. Are you coming to the party? I think so. Means I think I am coming. I think that I am coming to the party. So we don't need to repeat. We're just using so. So be careful with I think so. Lower level students misuse that. In fact, not just lower levels. Lots of students misuse that. They don't use it in the right way. So that's, hopefully, will show you. All generalizations are false, including this one. One refers back to generalizations. Do you like dancing? I think so. I think I like dancing. And there was the example I just gave you. Okay? So all of these words are really going to help you connect your ideas. They're essential, especially if you want anything more than a 6. You have to learn that quite well. Definite article, the. So the refers back to something that we already mentioned. I went to a new restaurant last night. The restaurant was in Southport. The refers back to the restaurant, the one that we went to last night. So, of course, this is also a grammar issue. So you've got to understand in these band descriptors, the task response or task achievement, the coherence and cohesion, the grammar and vocabulary are all connected. Here's a good example. Many people say that our grandparents are healthier than us because the food was not processed. Which food? The food that they ate. Please close the door. We know which door. Okay. So the is important for grammar and coherence and cohesion. Here's some examples. Just to show you how many cohesive devices there are in a paragraph. We've got a mixture here, haven't we? We've got the subordinating conjunctions, we've got transitions, we've got pronouns, we've got relative pronouns, transitions, conjunctions, pronouns, and such as. Okay, so you can see in there how many there are. So again, pause the lesson and take a moment to read that. Same deal here. I'm just highlighting, just showing you how common they are. Again, a mixture of demonstrative pronouns, which, as I said, are really important, and transitions, relative pronouns, all good. Again, pause this to look more, take more time to read that and notice them. And here they are in a whole essay. So I've underlined the subordinating conjunctions and I've highlighted the pronouns, the demonstrative pronouns and the definite article. Okay, so again, pause the lesson and take your time to read that and try and think about where the ideas are connecting. What are they connecting? So it is often suggested that young people's manners are on the decline, and they, who's they? So young people's. Okay. All right. Good. Watch our other lessons on conjunctions, coherence, and that's it. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.